Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, let's do a walk around and tour of the all-new 2025 Ford Mustang GT. The Mustang GT is going to be the pony car that gives you a lot more muscle and, of course, a lot more features for the money. And on top of that, you are going to be getting this very nice looking hood scoop on the hood, as you can see there. The leather interior, which, of course, is going to combine both leather and leatherette material. You also do get a 12.4-inch instrument cluster and a 13.4-inch infotainment system. This one here also happens to have the 401A equipment package, which is going to give you your Ford Copilot 360 Assist Plus, as well as a security package as well. With that being said, though, a huge thank you to Bob Thomas Ford, which is a part of the Thomas Auto Group here in McKinney, Texas, for giving me some time with this one today. And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get started. As you can see with the key, it's your traditional Ford key fob. The only difference is that you do have the Mustang emblem on this side, and then on this side you're going to have your usual set of controls, which does entail your lock, unlock, remote start, your trunk release, and your panic alarm. To remote start the Mustang, just make sure the vehicle is locked, and double click the remote start button twice, and the engine will start right up. And when you're finished, just double click the remote start button again, and the vehicle will shut itself off from there. Starting off here in the front of the vehicle, the GT is going to kind of give you a nicer looking grille, as you can see here, with the Mustang emblem front and center. And as you can see in person, it does look really nice. And as I mentioned, on top of there, you do have that nice hood scoop, which is going to allow for air to go in to help keep the engine cool and running at an optimal temperature. And when you pan out a little bit, it's going to give you an aggressive look, as you would expect from a Mustang GT. And of course, you do have your adaptive radar cruise control sensor right there, so that way it will depress the brakes, so that way you won't get yourself involved in a frontal collision. And in addition to that, you do have your standard LED daytime running lights with your LED projector headlamps. Checking out our wheels and tires of this one, we're taking a look at a set of Continental Pro Contact tires on a set of 19-inch rims. These measure 245 40R19s all the way around. Coming over to the door, this vehicle does have a smart key access system, allowing for easy access to the exterior as well as the interior by having the key fob in your pocket and come to the door handle. There's a touch sensor inside here. Just put your hand in and the vehicle will unlock, allowing you to jump on inside. And of course, when you're done, close it up, tap this button right here. One beep will indicate locking, and you'll be on your way. The exterior color of this one is finished off in Oxford white with a space gray ActiveX leather interior. Come over to our door panel. As you can see, we're going to have some hard touch molded injection plastic on top. However, we do have some softer material coming down here. You're going to have this kind of carbon fiber trim coming across this panel here, where we will find our aluminum door handle, our 3-person memory seating, as well as our unlock and lock switches. On top of that, we do have our controls for our mirrors, as well as our power windows, and a small storage pocket right here in the door jamb. Along the smart key access system, the Mustang GT does come standard with push button ignition. Just keep the key fob in your pocket or in the vehicle itself, put your foot on the brake, and hit the button to go. Very nice. The Mustang GT does come standard with a fully leather wrapped rocking paint power steering wheel with controls here on the left as well as on the right sides. Left is going to house our cruise control settings, as well as our settings here to set that cruise control and your different drive mode selectors right here. To the right side, we're going to have our head-street voice controls, our volume controls for the audio, seat track for the audio, our controls here for the instrument cluster, and our heated steering wheel. We also do have, because this is a GT, paddle shifters on both the left and right sides of the steering wheel. Sorry about that, everybody. I had to end up taking a phone call. But anyways, that brings us now to our 12.4-inch instrument cluster, which consists of 4 main gauges. To the left, we're going to have our tachometer as well as our coolant temperature, and to the right, we have our speedometer as well as our fuel gauge. And right in the middle is going to be our driver information center, consisting of our exterior temperature as well as our compass, and our audio system on the very top. Coming in the middle is going to be our driver information system, and at the bottom, we're going to have our gear selection. We can cycle through a couple of different things here on this screen via the steering wheel, and they do include your trip one information, which consists of your elapsed time, your distance driven, average speed, as well as average fuel economy. We do have our fuel economy, average, tire pressure monitoring system, our gauge detail, which does give us more information about things such as our engine oil temperature, transmission oil temperature, oil pressure, as well as our inlet air temperature. Follow that up with our air and fuel ratio and our battery voltage. We also do have our driver assistance, and then back to our trip one information. Come over here, we're taking a look at a 14.3 inch display, or excuse me, 13.4 inch display that made its debut in the S650 generation Mustang last year. And as you can see, it's nice, it looks good, and of course it's running on the latest system updates. With that being said, it's going to be divided into 3 different screens here, one consisting of your navigation system, then you have your audio system, followed by your Bluetooth and phone connectivity, and our different features on the far right side. Starting off here, on the left side, we are going to have our navigation system, and that's going to entail things such as our detailed navigation feature, which looks very nice. You're going to have your different presets on this side, which does entail your menu, search, resets, and saved destinations. Overall, it does do a pretty good job. Coming over here to our audio system, we're going to turn our audio feature down for copyright purposes. And now that brings us over to our audio system. And that's going to consist of our SiriusXM feature that's currently playing right now. We're going to see what's playing on the station right in the middle. We also have the album that the song is coming off of. Of course, you have your SiriusXM station here, as well as related stations to what it is that you're listening to. You also do have your sources here for your AM, FM, and SiriusXM radio. You have your channel changer right here, of course, your C track right here, and you do have your station presets coming down here below that. Moving on from that, we're going to go to our phone and Bluetooth area, which is where we'll actually be able to add a phone to the vehicle via the vehicle's Bluetooth system. And then as we come to the right side, we have our settings, features, and apps. Starting off here with our apps first, we do have different things such as our Find Mobile apps, our Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as well as mobile apps help. Moving on to our features, that is going to be features that come with the vehicle, which includes our driver assistance, My Mustang, edit favorite, owner's manual, as well as record feedback. Starting off with our driver assistance. Our driver assistance features in the show us all the safety features that come with the vehicle standard, and that does include your adaptive cruise control, your speed limit assist, your lane keeping system, your pre-collision assist. You do have your rear view camera delay, blind spot information system, cross traffic alert, cross traffic braking, as well as your driver alert. You do have your My Mustang feature, which is going to be a way that you can not only interact with the vehicle, but it's also a customization feature as well. And it's going to entail things such as our track apps, auxiliary gauges, custom mode, my color, as well as our cluster theme. Starting off with our track apps, that's of course is going to introduce us to things like line lock, which is Ford's version of launch control. You also have your acceleration timer, brake performance, as well as your lap timer. Obviously, this is something you don't want to do on public roads. You would definitely want to do this at the track instead. Come over here to our auxiliary gauges. That's going to give us information here in a more expansive way, as you can see. And then we have a more simpler view, which consists of our battery voltage, our turbo boost, and our G meter in the middle. You have our custom mode here, which is going to allow you to customize your different drive points, or in this case, your different drive modes based on certain elements of the vehicle, which includes steering, traction, handling, all that stuff, which is very cool to see. Coming to our My Color, this is where we'll be able to adjust the color for our ambient lighting, as well as our brightness. And when we come over to our displays area here, we do have our primary and secondary colors. And then one of my favorite features in the new Mustang is going to be the cluster theme here, which as you can see, you can adjust it based on different themes. So coming over to this display here in the driver instrument cluster, we're going to have our normal mode as we're looking at right now. We have our sport mode, as you can see here. We have track mode, followed by our calm. Then we move on to the 3 different Mustangs of the past. So you have our classic Mustang setup here, our Fox body, followed up with the SVT Cobra. Really cool. And then of course, you can also change it based on your drive mode. As you can see, there's this match drive mode, so you can select that, and it will change as you change the different drive modes. And then that's going to do it here for the My Mustang feature. You do have edit favorites, which is where if you click on that, you can add your auto hold or calm screen as a favorite feature to, or not a favorite feature, but a favorite app per se to the vehicle. And then we have our owner's manual, which is going to allow us to consult the owner's manual from inside the vehicle versus using the actual booklet itself that you get from the dealer. And the record feedback is going to allow you to record your voice and all that via the in-vehicle microphone. And then coming over to our settings, this is where we'll be able to enable, disable, change, and make things our own based on your preferences. And you have a lot to go through, of course, which does include our valet mode. And then come back over to this side, we have our Sirius XM, add phone, sync navigation, sound, vehicle, clock, personal profiles in general. We also do have our instrument cluster, center display, connectivity, vehicle hotspot, mobile apps, software updates, Ford Assistant, as well as 911 Assist. Starting off here with our vehicle settings, we do have things for adjustments such as our 30-minute max idle, rear occupant alert, as well as key detection alert. You also have your easy entry and exit. You have your remote start setup, your windows, wipers, as well as lighting and lock features that you can go into. And then you have your oil life down at the very bottom. You have your add phone features where you can add a phone to the vehicle via the Bluetooth system, as I explained before. You do have your sound adjustments here, which when you click on that, you can adjust your tone settings, your balance and fade, your speed compensated volume, your occupancy mode, as well as your sound mode. And then moving on from that, we do have our general settings, which is going to consist of things such as our language, temperature, units of measurement, as well as our software information at the very bottom. Come over to this side, we do have our instrument cluster, which we can turn on, or not turn on, you can choose the different screens on this particular setting. We do have software updates, which is going to allow you to update. It's going to allow you to update the software over time or based on your schedule. Your connectivity is going to allow you to have your Wi-Fi connected to the vehicle, as well as managing phones and all that stuff. Vehicle hotspot is going to allow you to turn on your vehicle hotspot in the vehicle itself and manage devices and all that stuff as well. So basically connectivity and vehicle hotspot kind of work together, vice versa in a way. You do have your Ford Assistant, so it's basically no different than, let's say, what we see with GM and OnStar. So what your Ford Assistant does is that if you have any questions about the vehicle, or let's say you were in need of assistance of something, for your Ford Assistant feature will need to be on in order for that to work, as well as your 911 Assist. Let's say you're involved in a frontal collision, or much worse, that you need EMS or law enforcement services, just make sure that 911 Assist feature is enabled and you'll be able to get help right away. And then come over here to the last part, our valet mode is going to allow us to lock up certain functions of the vehicle up, so that way a valet does not have access to it. You and only the driver can, or I should say, the driver and the driver only rather, will have access to the valet mode function via a 4-digit PIN, and of course you will need to enable and disable it via that 4-digit PIN. And so with that being said, before we move on any further with the infotainment system, we do have our climate controls down here, which does adjust our fan speed here. We have our heated steering wheel here. We also do have our heated and ventilated seats for the driver as well as front passenger. We have our dual zone climate control functions, and of course you have your auto AC, max AC, and then your AC control right there. And so with that being said, it's going to wrap it up here for the infotainment system tour in the 2025 Ford Mustang GT Premium. Before we move any further though, this one here does have a 10-speed automatic transmission. Put it into reverse, you do get a backup camera with guidance lines, and they do adjust as you turn the wheel. And overall, the camera quality is pretty nice. You also do have a top-down view as well. Coming down below that, we do have our vents, followed by some physical controls for our auto stop start function, our My Mustang feature, traction control off switch, your hazard light switch there, your favorites, as well as your max AC, and then your physical volume up to the far right. Below that, we have a little storage area that we can put our phone in, and of course you can charge our devices via a USB-C or USB-A port, followed by our outlet there to the far right. 10-speed automatic transmission here, electronic parking brake here, 2 cup holders here. Come over to our glove compartment here. We also have a good amount of storage space as well as another outlet inside. Now, sitting in these seats here, they're very nice and very comfortable. They do have a little bit of support as well, which is very, very good to see. You have perforations coming down the middle to kind of give you some more comfort as far as material is concerned. And overall, the seat itself does look really nice. Come over to our glove box. You have a good amount of storage space inside there. You're going to have some soft touch material down here with some more of that stitching, some more carbon fiber material here with this piano black inlay with Mustang spelled out over here. And then we do have our hard touch plastic on top. We do have our mirror right here. We do have our controls up here for our overhead lights. And then further up, we do have our sunglass holder. Coming to this side, we do have our garage home link right here, which is also where we'll find our visor, as well as our mirror and lighting. And then come over here to the left side, we're gonna have our trunk release button here, which we'll do that now. We're gonna have our headlight controls, followed by our gauge dimmer switches. And so, with that being said, let's go ahead and check out the rest of the 2025 Ford Mustang GT. And before we move any further, you can get into the back seat as long as you have this right here kind of in place. And all you'd have to do is just move the seat forward so that we'll have access to that back seat. And as we are getting closer to the back seat, as you can see, we do have that latch feature for our lower anchors and tethers for children. So you can have a child seat in the back of this one here. And the only thing you get back here is that you have one seat pocket behind the front passenger. And then when you're done, just pull the seat back to its original position. And there you go. We have our fuel tank here, which consists of our Easy Fuel capless fuel filler, making it easier to fill up at the gas station, and an illustration of how to use it. The Mustang GT does come standard with LED taillights in the back as expected. You do have your GT badge right here. You have your dual exhaust right here, as well as your rear parking sensors back here as well. Coming into the cargo area for the Mustang GT, you do have a big opening as expected. And as you can see, you have plenty of room to put stuff in, of course, which is very nice. And the way that we're looking at it right now, you're looking at right around 13.3 cubic feet of space, which is overall pretty good for a vehicle like this. Now back here, we do have our carpeted floor mats, our carpeted trunk mat, and then underneath here, we have our spare tire. Under the hood of the Ford Mustang GT, we're looking at the 5-liter 32-valve dual overhead cam Coyote V8. It produces 480 horsepower and 418 pound-feet of torque. With a 16-gallon fuel tank, this vehicle does get on average of about 22 city and about 30 highway. Overall, pretty good numbers, and overall, it's a nice engine bay. All right, guys, and so the last thing we are going to go through in this one today is the vehicle's window sticker. 2025 Mustang GT Coupe Premium, finished off in Oxford white with the space gray leather trimmed interior. As you can see, everything on top is going to come standard with the vehicle. And then coming down below, we do have a few options on here, which does include our 401A equipment group, which entails our premier trim with color accenting, our connected navigation for 1 year. We do get the security package, as well as the Ford Copilot 360 Assist Plus for $2,900. We get the 355 limited slip axle ratio for $995, and we do have our mini spare wheel and tire for $665. This one here has a base price of $51,080. Total options comes in at $4,560, and our destination delivery of $1,595. This one has a total MSRP of $57,235. However, you will have on some negotiable add-ons, as you can see, which does add on an extra $2,484 for a total of just over $59,700. Fuel economy for this vehicle comes in at 16 city, 24 highway, so I do apologize for giving you guys the wrong information as far as fuel economy. And last but not least, our overall vehicle score comes in at 5 out of 5 stars from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. And so in conclusion, the Ford Mustang GT is one of the very few muscle cars still left on sale today. As we all know, the Camaro SS went away a couple of years ago. And of course, the Dodge Charger and Challenger no longer are around, with Dodge combining two vehicles into one, and now they're offering it in an electric and soon to be gas model. But while this one still exists, it's still very good, it's still very impressive, but it's not the most impressive, as you can also upgrade to the Dark Horse and then to the Shelbys for more power and more muscle. But with that being said, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this walk around and tour of the 2025 Ford Mustang GT, finished off here in Oxford White with the space gray leather interior. If you're interested in this vehicle, please let Bob Thomas Ford know you saw this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.